Good day, class. Our subject for this second semester is business finance. What are we going to talk about business finance? Of course, it's all about financial matters in relation to business. So ano ba yung mga matututunan natin sa financial matters for this entire sem? What you can do, class, is to focus on our subject. And for our first week's topic, it is all about financial management, financial institution, financial instrument, and financial market. Ano ba ang pagkakaiba ng mga yan at ano ang mahihita natin sa mga terminologies na yan? For the start, let us know what is finance. Finance is the study of how the players in a financial system acquire, spend, manage, and make other sound financial decisions concerning money and other financial resources. So binabanggit dito yung pag-acquire. Paano ka magkakaroon ng pera? Paano ka magpuproduce ng pera? Spend. Paano mo siya gagastusin? Pag sinabi nating acquire and spend, kinakailangan din nating malaman kung paanong i-manage o i-balance yung dalawang yan. Hindi po pwedeng spend ka lang ng spend, pero ang kinikita mo naman ay kulang sa iyong ginagastos. That's why you need to manage and make other sound financial decisions. Paano tayo makakagawa ng sound financial decisions? Inaaral na mabuti, ina-assess ang mga bagay-bagay. Yung decisions natin dapat may prudence. Generally, sound financial decisions contribute positively to individuals, businesses, and the economy. Unang-una sa iyo sapagkat ikaw ang may hawak ng pera. Ikaw ang kumikita. Yung business mo, since ang pera ng negosyo ay para sa negosyo, dapat ang bawat hakbang na gagawin ng owner ng business regarding sa kanyang pera, be-benefit dapat ang kanyang business or ang kanyang negosyo. Kung ang kanyang negosyo ay nagbe-benefit, nakikinabang din ang ating economy. Dahil, ibig sabihin nun, ang kanyang negosyo ay nakakapagbayad ng buwis. Reasons to study finance. Bakit ba natin kailangang aralin ang finance? Unang-una, to be able to manage money or financial resources. Sa economics, guys, nakikita natin sa pag-aaral ng economics na meron tayong scarce resources. Kung kaya't, minamanage, no? Inaaral mabuti paano ma-utilize yung scarce resources effectively. Ganun din naman sa financial matters. Very limited ang ating pera, kung kaya't dapat na mayroon tayong alam kung paanong mapapangalagaan ang ating pera at paano natin mai-spend, ma-utilize, ma-maximize ng maayos yung ating financial resources. Lalo't pag pinag-uusapan natin ang sa negosyo. Kailangan lahat ng cash outflow or expenditure sa negosyo, ito ay may kapalit na kapakinabangan sa kumpanya. Pangalawa, to be able to make sound economic decisions. Decisions being made by individuals, businesses, and governments affect the entire economy. Lahat yan may pakialam, magkakaugnay para sa pag-angat ng ekonomiya. Kung kaya't, yung tinatawag nating sound decisions ay kinakailangan na nandyan lagi. Yung sound decision na pinag-aralang mabuti at inalam ang mga pros and cons, at yung desisyon na nakalkula yung mga risk na pwedeng ma-encounter. Pangatlo, to be able to arrive at sound personal and business investment decisions. Sound decisions pa rin pertaining sa investment. Sa pamamagitan ng pag-aaral ng finance, ang isang individual na may alam sa pagdedesisyon niya patungkol sa investment, it makes him sure na yung ilalabas niyang pera ay may return or return of investment na hindi naman siya malulugi. Kundi bagkus, ito ay malaking karagdagan para sa pera ng kanyang kumpanya or pera ng kanyang sarili. To be able to understand the career path available to finance professionals. Sa pag-aaral ng finance, may mga specific jobs or careers na pwede tayong mapasukan pagtapos nating mag-aral. For example, pwede tayong pumasok sa commerce and industry, pwede tayong pumasok din sa gobyerno, at pwede rin sa academe. Sa commerce and industry, meron mga positions dyan kagaya ng financial analysts, cash management analyst, capital expenditures analyst, credit analyst, bank teller, loans analyst, investment researcher, insurance agent, real estate agent, broker, security analyst, at marami pang iba. Sa government naman, pwede tayong pumasok bilang administrative clerk. Sa academe, pwede rin tayong mag-lecture at magturo, kagaya ng ginagawa natin ngayon. Research assistant, nag-a-assist sa data gathering. So, yan yung mga pwedeng careers na pwedeng applyan ng mga nag-aaral ng finance. Ngayon, since pinag-uusapan natin ang business, ang negosyo, pag-usapan natin ang corporate organization structure. Ang nakikita nyo ngayon ay corporate organization structure na kung saan merong shareholders, merong board of directors, may president or CEO, at merong mga vice presidents. So yung shareholders at board of directors, sila yung mga tinuturing nating owners. Ang shareholders ay nag-i-elect ng board of directors. Yung board of directors naman, nag-a-appoint ng president. And then, mula sa president hanggang pababa, sila yung mga managers. Mapapansin nyo, dito sa ating corporate organization, yung diagram na ito, no, it emphasized that each line is working for the interest of the person on the line above them. Yung board of directors, pinapatupad niya ang objectives ng shareholders. Sila yung mga may-ari. Siyempre, yung mga shareholders, kaya nga sila nag-invest para kumita, magkaroon ng profit. So, yung mga board of directors, they make sure na mamimit nila yung objectives ng shareholders. Then, yung president naman, the role of a president is in a corporation may vary from one company to another. Ang iba sa mga responsibilities ng president ay approving of the information and other disclosures resorted or reported in the financial statements, overseeing the operations of the company and ensuring that the strategies as approved by the board of directors are implemented as planned. So yung mga policies na in-set ng mga board of directors, si president ang nagpapatupad niyan. All in all, siya ang nagda-drive sa kumpanya. sa planning, overseeing ng operations ng company as a whole. Sa ilalim niya, mayroong mga vice president. Yung mga vice president na yan ay may kanya-kanyang department. So, merong for marketing, for finance, for production, at for administration. So, si presidente, ino-oversee niya yung mga roles ng mga vice president. Ano ba ang ginagawa ng vice president for marketing? Siyempre, formulating marketing strategies and plans. Strategies, techniques, para ang kanilang mga produkto ay maibenta nila. So kasama na rin dyan yung pagre-research or the conducting or directing research that will allow the company identify new marketing opportunities. So yan ang trabaho ni marketing. Si production naman, ensuring production meets customer demands. Sinisigurado ni Vice President for Production na hindi na sila nauubusan ng produkto, na ang production ay tuloy-tuloy, na ang raw materials ay hindi naantala para tuloy-tuloy ang production. Yan ang role ni Vice President for Production. Si Vice President for Administration naman, more on coordination. Coordinates administration, finance, marketing, at saka iba't ibang mga department pa sa kanilang kumpanya. Kasama na rin dyan yung hiring. Now, the major role of financial management and the different individuals involved. So, finance, again, is defined as the management of money, includes activities such as investing, lending, borrowing, budgeting, saving, and forecasting. Ganon kalawak yung scope ng finance, no? Ulitin natin, investing, lending, borrowing, budgeting, saving, and forecasting. Nag-invest, nanghiram, nagpahiram, pagbabudget, at saka pag-iimpok. And syempre, yung forecast. Kaya tayo, di ba, meron tayong forecasted financial statements. Kasama yan sa trabaho ng finance. So, financial management means planning, organizing, directing, controlling, and the financial activities such as procurement and utilization of funds. Procurement is pagpo-produce ng pera. Utilization is gagastusin yung pera. Saan gagamitin ang funds? It means applying general management principles to financial resources of the enterprise. Kagaya ng business management, meron ding financial management. At ito ay nakafocus kung paano i-manage ang pera ng kumpanya ng maayos na hindi malulugi si kumpanya at mamamaximize pa nito ang kanilang pera na meron sila. Now, since we are talking about finances, let's talk about the roles of the financial manager or the Vice President for Finance. So the role of the VP for Finance is to determine the appropriate capital structure of the company. Capital structure refers to how much of your total assets financed by debt and how much is financed by equity. Dalawa yan. Diba sa accounting, pinag-aaralan natin. Yung capital ng kumpanya, saan ba nanggaling yan? Yung portion nun galing sa hiniram ng kumpanya. May nagpautang sa kanya. At yung portion naman nun ay galing sa equity or nag-finance nun yung mga shareholders mismo. So, ang role ng VP for Finance or the Financial Manager is to determine the appropriate capital structure of the company. Ano ba ang mas appropriate or nararapat? Ito ba ay yung kanilang capital ay magmumula sa pangungutang or galing na lang ito talaga sa equity? Walang utang, kundi yung investment talaga ng mga shareholders. To be able to acquire assets, our funds must have come somewhere. If it has bought using cash from our pockets, it has financed by equity. On the other hand, if we use money from our borrowings, the asset bought has financed by debt. So, equity and debt. Isa pag-acquire ng assets. Bumili ka ng assets, ng building halimbawa or ng equipment. Inutang ba ito? Or binili gamit yung ating cash? Dito, i-determine ni financial manager sa pera na meron ng kumpanya ngayon. Ano ba ang nararapat kung tayo ay mag-acquire ng asset? Halimbawa, kailangan nating bumili ng bagong building. Kailangan nating bumili ng machinery. I-determine ni financial manager kung sa pag-acquire ng mga yon, ano ba ang gagamitin natin? Yung pera ng kumpanya or yung tinatawag nating financing by equity? Or mag-loan na lang tayo sa bangko para mabili natin yung specific asset na yon. Yun yung tinatawag nating financed by debt. Now, the functions of the financial managers. Unang-una is financing decisions. It includes making decisions as to how to finance long-term investments and working capital which deals with the day-to-day operations of the company. Paano nila ipoprovide yung pangangailangang gastos ng kumpanya? Una, long-term investment. Pangalawa, yung working capital, yung pang-araw-araw na operasyon ng business. Financing decisions yan. Pangalawa, investing decisions to minimize the probability of failure. Long-term investments have supported by capital budgeting analysis. So bago mag-engage ang kumpanya sa long-term investment, kinakailangan muna na ito ay supported by the capital budgeting analysis. May mga analysis na ginagawa. Paano yon? May inaaral na ina-assess nila ang sitwasyon. Pros and cons, risk na po pwede nilang ma-encounter at paano nila ma-re-resolve kung anumang problema ang dumating. Investing decisions. Operating decisions deal with the daily operations of the company, especially on how to finance working capital accounts such as accounts receivable and inventories. Operating decisions, daily operations ng company. Paano raw nila gagamitin o i-finance yung working capital, ibig sabihin yung perang ginagastos, ginagamit, ini-utilize sa pang-araw-araw na operation ng business. May binanggit dito, accounts receivable at inventories. Yung bang mga receivable sila na kokolekta nila? Gaano sila kadalas makakolekta ng receivable? Kasi kung hindi sila makakolekta, ano ang gagamitin nila sa pang-araw-araw na operation ng business? Kaya nga yan ay current assets. At kasama na rin dyan yung inventories. Yung inventories, ibinebenta yan. Gaano kabilis maibenta yung kanilang mga produkto? Kasi kung hindi naman agad-agad na ibebenta, baka wala rin silang magamit sa pang-araw-araw na operation ng business. Dividend policies. Dividend is a part of profits that are available for distribution to equity shareholders. The finance manager must decide whether the firm should distribute all the profits or retain them or distribute a portion and retain the balance. Si financial manager, siya mag-decide. Kailangan na ba nating ibigay itong mga dividend ng mga investors natin or wag na muna? Ilagay na muna natin sa retained earnings para magamit pa natin sa mga projects ng kumpanya or sa expansion. So, dinidecide yan ng financial manager. The overview of the financial system. Sa screen natin, makikita nyo, meron tayong savers, merong financial intermediaries, at merong users of funds. Yung financial intermediaries, sila yung nagli-link between the savers and the users of fund. Sino nga ba itong savers na to? Ito yung mga households, mga individual, mga korporasyon, mga government agencies. Savers kasi nag-i-impok ng pera. Yung financial intermediaries, dito nila ini-impok yung kanilang pera. Kagaya ng mga bangko, insurance companies, stock exchange, stock brokerage firms, mutual funds. At itong mga intermediaries na ito ay ini-invest naman nila itong mga perang ito sa pamamagitan ng pagpapahiram or niloloan naman ito ng mga ibang tao o ibang kumpanya. Kagaya ng mga households, individuals, corporations, or government agencies. Pansinin nyo, kung sino yung savers, sila rin naman ang users. Sila yung nag-iimpok sa pamamagitan ng financial intermediaries at yung sila rin naman yung mga nangungutang sa mga bangko na ito, sa mga financial intermediaries na ito para naman sa kanilang mga projects. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nangutang, mayroong interest. At yung interest na ipinapato ng mga financial intermediaries na ito naman yung ibinibigay nila sa mga savers. Now, let us differentiate the financial instruments, financial institutions, and financial markets. Financial institutions are companies in the financial sector that provide a broad range of business and service, including banking, insurance, and investment management. Ano ba yung mga examples ng financial institutions? Yung commercial banks, savings banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, pension funds, no? Sila ay mga pinagdalagakan natin ng pera. Others are GSIS, SSS, Unit Investment Trust Fund, investment banks, credit unions, etc., etc. And tandaan nyo guys, itong mga financial institutions na ito, they are regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Yung sa Insurance Commission. Sila yung nag-oversee sa operations ng insurance companies. Pangalawa, financial instruments. This is a real or virtual document representing a legal agreement involving some sort of monetary value. These can be debt securities like corporate bonds or equity like shares of stock. When a financial instrument issued, it gives rise to a financial asset on one hand and a financial liability or equity instrument on the other hand. So, examples ng financial instruments, ito na. O, dito kayo pamilyar. Notes receivable, loans receivable, investment stocks, investments in bond. So, sa itong mga financial instruments na ito, kung makikita nyo, kung kayo ay nag-invest sa isang kumpanya, binibigyan kayo ng certificate na kayo ay investor. Kung kayo naman ay bondholder, mayroong certificate din yon, kayo ay nagpahiram ng pera sa gobyerno, meron ding liability. Ang liability, yung notes payable, loans payable, tsaka bonds payable. Tandaan nyo guys, pag sinabi nating financial instrument, mayroon itong document na pinapakita. Katunayan na ikaw ay mayroong financial asset or financial liability. Equity instrument, para naman ito sa mga ordinary share capital, preference share capital, or preferred stocks. Katunayan na ikaw ay nagmamay-ari ng stock or ikaw ay investor. Debt instruments, examples ay sa treasury bonds and treasury bills, saka yung mga corporate bonds. Ang treasury bonds and treasury bills ay issued by the Philippine government. These bonds and bills have usually low interest rates and have very low risk of default since the government assures that this has been paid. So, yun yung sa treasury bonds and treasury bills. Ang corporate bonds naman, these are issued by publicly listed companies. These bonds usually have higher interest rates than treasury bonds. So, yun yung sa corporate bonds. Generally, equity instruments have varied returns based on the performance of the issuing company. So, kung kumikita ng mga ganda ang kumpanya, mas malaki ang return. Kung hindi naman, hindi rin malaki ang return. So, yung preferred stock at saka common stock. Preferred stock, preferred sila. Kaya nga preferred, sila muna ang priority over the common stock. ko yung mga matitira sa common stock yan. Yung mga preferred stockholders, kapag ang kumpanya ay on the brink of bankruptcy or liquidation, kapag binenta na yung mga assets ng kumpanya, sila muna ang unang babayaran bago ang mga common stockholders. Pero pagdating sa voting rights, ang common stockholders ay sila ang mga bumoboto para sa mga decisions na gagawin ng kumpanya. Financial market. This refers to a marketplace where creation and trading of financial assets such as shares, debentures, bonds, derivatives, currencies takes place. Sa financial market, we can classify financial markets into comparative groups. The first one is primary versus secondary markets. To raise money, users of funds will go to primary market to issue new securities through a public offering or a private placement. The sale of a new securities to the public, referred to as public offering, and the first offering of stock named an initial public offering. The sale of new securities to one investor or group of investors is referred to as a private placement. However, suppliers of funds or holders of the securities may decide to sell the securities that have purchased. The sale of previously owned securities takes place in secondary markets. Ibig sabihin guys, no? Initial offering, primary yan. Kapag ka naibenta na, tapos i-resell na lang nung unang nakabili, secondary market yan. The Philippine Stock Exchange is both primary and secondary market. Letter B, money markets versus capital markets. Money markets are a venue wherein securities with short-term maturities or less than 1 year are sold. They were created because some individuals, businesses, governments, and financial institutions have temporarily idle funds that they wish to invest in a relative safe interest-bearing asset. At the same time, other individuals, businesses, governments, and financial institutions find themselves in need of seasonal or temporary financing. On the other hand, securities with longer-term maturities sold in capital markets. The key capital market securities are bonds and both common stock and preferred stock. So, ang pinagkaiba lang naman nila ay ang terms. Money market, short-term maturity. Pagka capital market, long-term. The role of financial managers: make financing decisions that require funding from investors in the financial market. And now, for our question of the week. It is a type of financial intermediary that pools savings of individuals and makes them available to business and government users. Funds obtained through the sale of shares. Letter A, mutual funds. Letter B, commercial banks. Letter C, savings and loans. And letter D, credit union. Comment your answers on the comment section. Hope to see you again next week for our new topic. Have a nice day.